All right, everybody. How is everybody doing tonight? I am Melanie Shop, and I am your SNHU 107 Learning Community gal. So let me know if you can hear me okay. I'm going to turn on my camera. Hey, everybody. Just real quick, I wanted to let you guys see my face as we get started tonight. I know that people are still going to be logging on as we get started. But I wanted to make sure that you got to see me in person. Y'all, we are so excited to have you here tonight for your very first SNHU 107 Learning Community webinar. Couple of things I wanted to let you know just real quick. Is that tonight's session is recorded and I have started the recording. Once we get started, I won't be able to see the chat until the end. So if you have questions, hold them till the end. I'm going to go through the most commonly asked questions that y'all have. I'm also going to go through some things to get you guys set for your term. But then when we get done too, I will be going through the classroom just real quick to show you like where to click and how to find some things. And then I will make sure I get everybody's questions all answered, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I just wanted to make sure that I told you guys a couple of things and you got to see my face before I got started. So you guys ready? I'm ready. Okay, everybody. So as you guys know, here at the university, this is your SNHU 107 Learning Community webinar. First and foremost, we want you guys to know that your experience here at Southern New Hampshire University is so incredibly important to us. It is our policy and practice to create an inclusive and accessible learning environment. And if there are aspects of instruction or course design that present barriers to accessibility, please notify the Online Accessibility Center, the OAC, as soon as possible at 866-305-9430. You can also email them at oac@snhu.edu or visit the Online Accessibility Center website. Folks, who is the Online Accessibility Center? They are a team of people that are here to help you make sure that you get information like content in this webinar, and also content from your classes in a way that works best for you. So if you have questions about this or want to learn more about this, please reach out directly to the OAC. They're a wonderful team of humans to work with, or you can also connect with your advisor and they can get you connected. Couple of webinar reminders. You do not need to have a microphone or camera. They're not turned on. I'm sorry. You just need to be able to hear me, which sounds like everybody can. These webinars are offered in both a live format like tonight, but also on demand. The rest of your weeks, except for one, these webinars will be loaded to that SNHU 107 Learning Community Webinar YouTube page, the link that I shared in the chat, and I'll share it again. Don't worry. They will be loaded by every single Monday of the week that you start. So next week for Module 1, Week 1, it'll be loaded and ready for you to go right away Monday morning so you can watch the webinar when it's convenient for you and get started on everything for Module 1, okay? As a reminder, this webinar plus the SNHU Connect Learning Communities or any of the club and organizational groups, those are all academic spaces, so always be mindful of your conduct. And as a reminder, these webinars are not mandatory, they are not graded, there's no extra credit points awarded, but you will learn and you will have fun. And that is something that we are so excited about here. Who am I? This is me, y'all. Like I said, I'm Melanie Shop. You guys got to see me in person, in the flesh. I am an SNHU 107 adjunct faculty member. I do teach a section of SNHU 107. I've worked for the university for 10 years, and I've actually taught for almost 20, which is crazy to me. I'm also an academic partner, which means I get to work with all of your wonderful faculty. And let me be the first to tell you that they are so excited to have you all here, and we are just really thrilled to welcome you to the university. Some fun things about me: I love the water. I think I'm a part-time mermaid. I like the beach, the pool, the river, the lake. It doesn't matter. I love to be on the water and outside. I'm an avid road biker. If I have any road bikers out here, I also do like indoor cycling. I'm a big reader. So if I have any other readers in here, you want to send me some recommendations, I read about anything. I also love coffee and I love spending time with my loved ones. But the biggest thing I want y'all to take away is that I am here and I am a resource for you. The learning community is here for your success and to connect you to the university. And it's here for just that extra support when you might need it. The learning community is a place outside your classroom, y'all. So your graded assignments, things like that, that'll all be in Brightspace, that www.learn.snhu. The learning community is outside your class, so it's in SNHU Connect, and I'll show you that here later. You'll have access to just-in-time resources that are quick little focus videos. You'll get to meet your peers just like you do in here in that online environment. Plus, we have the webinars, and I post some motivational things from time to time too. So that is what the community is. I wanted to take a minute, and I'm going to turn this over to our amazing Dr. Winfield. Hello, Dr. J. I'm going to give you the microphone.
All right. Hey, everyone. I'm Dr. James Winfield, but you can just call me Dr. J. That's what my students have been calling me for some time now. But I've been with SNHU for a little over 2 years now, but been working in higher education for 15 years. Just wanted to hop on and just provide a quick welcome and just say, welcome to SNU. We are so glad to have you here. Know that there is a community of individuals and resources to support you. You are not doing this alone. Okay. Just remember that. But there's a couple of things that I want to make sure that you all remember. There's this mantra that we have known as Persist, Engage, Network, or PIN, which is a play on our mascot, the penman. But remember to persist. We want you all to continue from term to term. But with that, you're going to have to make sure that you engage so that you engage with the various resources across this online campus. So whether it is engaging in the learning community or engaging in a student organization to ensure that you have that connection with peers, is something that you can definitely do to ensure that you have a great experience at SNHU. And then network with your peers, network with your faculty, network with your advisors, because guess what? If you go down the road and you're thinking about going into a graduate program, you're probably going to need a letter of recommendation or some kind of support. So just make sure that you make yourself friendly and put yourself out there. I think there's nothing wrong with that, and we welcome that. So I'm also an instructor as well. So looking forward to teaching IDS 105 in the coming week. And so I have a little bit of a connection with the students as well, but my role is essentially to help you all navigate this campus and to ensure that I think about all the strategies that we can employ to make sure that you have the best experience possible. So Melanie is a part of that team. Dr. Seville is on that team. She's on this call as well. We all are here to support you and know that you can do this. So welcome to SNHU, and I'll hand it back over to Melanie.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. J. Before I dive into our content, I wanted to introduce you guys. I think Tara is one of our other amazing associate deans. Dr. Tara Stable is here too. If she wants to say hi real quick, you guys have all the special guests tonight coming to you. So if she wants to give us a quick hi, there you are.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. We are so excited that you have decided to choose SNU. You guys, a lot of choices out there. So we are glad you are at SNU. And I'm going to pass it back to you all.
Perfect. Thank you so much. All right, y'all. So we know that starting classes can just really be a lot, right? It's exciting. It can be maybe overwhelming. You might be a little bit nervous. Am I resonating with anybody? Is anybody feeling this way as I kind of get started and I start talking about this? The biggest thing I want you guys to remember, and I'm going to turn on my camera again quick, is that I want you guys to remember, like, you got this. No matter the history, whether it's your first time starting classes, you've tried this before, you've done this before and it didn't work out, or maybe you're here to get that degree you've always wanted, or you didn't have to have a degree and now you do. No matter why you're here or how you got here, like, we're so thrilled to have you starting this journey with us. And we know that you are capable of earning your degree. So we want you to remember you got this. So say it out loud to yourself or type it in the chat, like, I got this, I can do this. I always wish I was in person because I would be like high five all the way around the classroom because it's an exciting time. But we also want to remember that things can be a little bit nerve-wracking. You might be a little bit overwhelmed, and that's okay. You're not alone with that at all. So as we get looking at our SNU 107 class itself, I wanted to remind you guys or kind of just talk about what you guys have that is due for the term, okay? So this class is an 8-week class. You will work on one module every week. So for example, on Monday when you start classes, module 1 is week 1. The next week, week 2 is module 2, and so on for the entire 8 weeks. Does that make sense? You guys will have 5 discussion assignments. Those discussion assignments, you will read the assigned reading. You'll check out the required resources section of your classroom. There might be some helpful videos or extra link to blogs or articles or different things like that to help supplement and help support the concept so you really understand it. You will then have some series of questions to answer. Usually there's like 1 to 4 questions that you'll answer. Basically, you're giving your thoughts and your feedback, okay, everybody? So when you do those, you have an initial discussion post. That is where you actually answer those questions and give your feedback. You will have that done by every Thursday of the week that you have a discussion assignment in the module, okay? And then you're going to want to have minimum of 2 peer responses, which means you're responding to 2 of your classmates. This is where you're going to really read what your classmates say, and then you're going to respond to them. A couple of sentences won't cut it, okay? That's a top tip right there. You want to make sure you write kind of like a short paragraph, talk about what they said, what you agree with. Maybe you have a different perspective. Share that the right way, share that perspective. Talk about your experience. You might find you have something in common. This is where you can really have those engaging discussions in the discussion forum. Those peer responses or classmate responses are due by every Sunday. Okay, so kind of put Thursday and Sundays in your calendars and kind of your reminders. You'll also have 5 journal assignments. Now, these journal assignments, you have a template, which means that it is an awesome idea to download Microsoft Word. You get Office 365 as an SNHU student for free. Free, y'all, okay? So I will show you that when we get done tonight, when I walk you through the classroom where you can find that information to how to get that downloaded. But you'll be able to actually open up the template, the assignments, and you'll type right in the Word document to answer your questions. You're going to have 5 of those. You're going to have 3 warm-ups. Warm-ups are like short little quizzes. The biggest thing with the warm-ups is they're auto-graded. So as soon as you take them, you'll see your score once you submit it. So you can always go back and retake them to earn your best score. But the other really cool thing about the warm-ups is you want to make sure that you review the class information, then take that class warm-up, and then you can retake it if needed, okay? And then finally, the last thing that connects all the dots, it's going to tie together all the concepts that you learned about all 8 weeks, is your final project. There's just one of them. You'll notice it's worth a big chunk of your points, but you're going to be working on pieces of this to really help you understand the concepts every single week in your SNHU 107 course, okay? The other cool thing about the project, there's a template for that too that you will type right in. So that is kind of the basics for your SNHU 107 class. I'm sure you guys might have some questions. Again, hold them kind of till the end because I can't necessarily see the chat right now. But if you're wondering, like, can I work ahead? Yes, you can work ahead. I will caution you in getting too far ahead. But I know that everybody's schedules are a little bit different. So you might need to work earlier on items, and that's okay. But always start with the very first week and make sure you finish those pieces, because if you get too far ahead, you might miss some of the important concepts, or you might have to redo some assignments. So just consider that. The other thing is I always get questions like, oh my gosh, can I get in my class right now and start submitting work? You really want to wait until you start classes on Monday, because that is when your faculty will be active in the classes. They'll be able to give you feedback, see that you did things. If you already got in there and you were excited and you did the warm up or you did something else, it's okay. You're not going to have to redo anything. Okay, everybody? But I just know that students always like to ask me those 2 things. Now, as we head into the top 10 tips, I want you to really think about how you can incorporate these into your next 8 weeks, all right? Because we're going to talk a lot about prioritizing our time and the importance of priorities here in SNHU 107. But I want you to think about, have you mapped out your SNHU study time yet? Be honest. Have you done it? Because if you haven't, I want you to do that here this weekend, okay? It's really important to map out that SNHU study time, whether it's 30 minutes a couple times during the day, or it's an hour here or an hour here. Everybody's schedule is going to be different, but you want to put that on your schedule almost like you're sitting in an active classroom and not online, just to help you stay organized and on top of things, okay? Tip number 2 is to make connections. Y'all are already doing this. You're getting to know each other in the chat by like sharing where you're from, what you're doing. Take that a step further. Get to know your classmates, get to know your faculty. Like, don't be nervous to send an email and reach out. I've had a couple students already this term that are like, hey, Professor Shop, my name is Abbott and I'm going to be taking classes with you and I haven't been in school in a while. I'm nervous, or I've never done this before. That's good for us to know. So reach out, say hello. We're not going to bite you. We want you to be successful, so don't hesitate. A lot of students get really nervous reaching out to their faculty member. Trust me, we want to hear from you because we want you to do well in our courses. Plus, you're going to hear and learn a lot about the university resources from the tutoring team through academic support, the help desk, the library, the career team, our financial services team, our peer mentors. Like there's so many resources at your fingertips that are from the university. You're going to learn a lot about them in SNHU 07, and I encourage you to connect with as many departments as possible for your success because it's just going to help you do even better. Okay. Tip number 3, your course for SNHU 07 does have an electronic textbook. So you should have gotten an email that looks kind of like this to your university email account. Top tip, always be checking your university SNHU email. Y'all don't let it go like weeks and not check it because that is how your faculty, advisors, any kind of financial services, any of the university departments are going to communicate with you is your SNHU email. So make sure you're checking that, okay? If you want to forward it to your Gmail or whatever, that's fine. Just make sure you're checking it. This is also should have been emailed to you, but if case it wasn't or you can't find it, like don't stress. If you go into your SNHU 07 classroom in Brightspace and go underneath learning modules, start here, the same information is there. It'll tell you, you can click on the SNHU online bookstore. You put in the class code, which is SNHU 07, that you're taking it online. It's going to pull up the book and the course materials you need. You can purchase it, add it to cart, checkout like you would on Amazon, and then it's going to give you instructions for how to get connected. If you're overwhelmed by that, if you're stuck or you have questions, your advisor is the best person to reach out to and they'll get you all set. Okay. Tip number 4 is to have a backup plan. So, in all honesty, life happens. It's not going to be the first time something has happened to a student or even to your faculty. We have kids get sick, loved ones get sick, we get sick. I've had students that have broken bones and not been able to type their papers. We have natural disasters, hurricanes, snowstorms, electricity goes out, Wi-Fi goes out, like computers break. I had two brand new laptops break in one term. 2. It happens. Life happens. And so the most important thing is you guys just have a backup plan. I encourage you to write down your instructor and advisor's actual phone number, their email address, so you can get a hold of them. If something comes up, we would rather know so we can help support you to stay on track or to get back on track than not hear from you at all. It just really helps us help you be successful if you let us know what's going on. It could even be if you're planning ahead. For some of you, you might have exciting life things happening, like a baby coming, or you're getting married, or you're going to be going on vacation or traveling for work, whatever it might be. If we can kind of plan for those things ahead of time, it can really just set you up for success. So just remember that. Don't hesitate to reach out and let us know what's going on. We'd rather know and be able to help you than not know and see you struggle. Tip number 5 kind of goes with making sure that you know what and who is a priority in your life, and scheduling that prioritization of time is to create a to-do list. Does anybody do this? I am a huge Post-it note person. I mean, y'all, right here, Post-it notes. I think I should have stock in the company. It helps keep me organized. Even just the 2 or 3 things that I know I have to get done every day. Everybody schedules themselves differently. So whether it's Post-it notes or you put it in your phone or a Google Calendar or some whiteboard, or just a note on your fridge, whatever it might be, however you get organized and it works best for you, create that to-do list so you know what is due in your life, both inside and outside the classroom, because we know that you guys are all busy and adding school to your schedule is another thing. So just make sure you know what's going on. So it just helps you feel more in control of your time. Tip number 6, communication is key. There's so many ways to get a hold of us here at SNHU, y'all. So many ways. You can call us. Don't be afraid to pick up that phone. I know it seems like so foreign, right, to pick up a phone and actually talk to somebody, but we want to talk to you. We want to hear from you. So if you're stuck or have questions and that's the way that you communicate best or it's easier for you, let's pick up the phone. Same thing, we can always email. Email tends to be usually how most students get a hold of instructors or different departments because it's right there and you can click and you can email them directly. So whatever you need to do, email is an option. And we even have a lot of faculty. When you check your course underneath my announcements, that my instructor announcement, you'll have faculty that give you their phone number or a Google phone number. They might text message. They might even do Google Hangouts or FaceTime or schedule appointments with you. Like everybody's a little bit different, but there's so many ways to communicate for your success. So don't let anything get by you. Or if you're stuck, reach out and let us know. So you guys are here now in a live session, which the live sessions are always so much fun. But like I said earlier, we do also have other weeks where they're pre-recorded. So I'm working on all those right now. They're pre-recorded, and then I will post them on this LC webinar YouTube page. So I wanted to just show you guys really quick. And this will get emailed out to you. How many of you guys got emails to remind you that we have a webinar tonight? That'll happen whenever there's a live session. There'll be reminders every week of some things to do in your class. It's going to go to your SNHU email. Also, we'll give you quick links to access the webinars for that week. Again, they're not required, they're not mandatory, but it's just a really great way to have that extra support and kind of just make sure, like a double check, like, okay, this is what I needed to get done this week. Like, oh, that's where I click. That's where I see this. So I wanted to make sure to remind you guys of that. We also have these quick little focus videos. Those are being worked on right now for the new term. These little quick focus videos are usually like a couple of minutes, and they show you quick things like how to access the discussion board, how to find your project or your journal templates or your project templates, and how to upload them. They're just really quick videos for your success. They're a little bit shorter than the webinars. And then you guys are here live tonight. We're via Microsoft Teams. We'll be live again in week 6. So keep an eye out in your course announcements and your SNHU email for the dates, the times, and all the information, which reminds me of kind of like a top tip 7.5. Always be checking your classroom announcements. Guys and gals, y'all, everybody, your faculty works so hard on those announcements and making sure that you have the information that you need. And so it's really important to be checking them. A lot of them will post at least a couple times a week. So just make sure that you're in there and you're active in that so you don't miss an important tip or an important concept that your faculty member might run through. Tip number 8 is to know your success team. So I want you to think about this for a minute. Who supports you genuinely? Like, who is somebody, maybe it's your why for being here and starting this journey. Maybe this is who's going to help you like review your writing assignments. Maybe this is somebody that's going to pick up things at home, like extra laundry or helping with the kiddos or loved ones or pets at home so you can do your schooling. Whatever it is, know those people that genuinely support you, the ones that are excited for you. They're going to cheer you on. They're going to hold your hand when maybe things aren't always glittery and sunshiny, but they're also the ones that are going to tell you the hard truths and tell you like, hey, you need to do your homework. Like, let's get your stuff done. Know who those people are. Make sure that you tell them how much you're going to appreciate them both now and at the end of the term, and just surround yourself with those people that are going to really help you achieve your goals. Tip number 9 is to use your feedback. So every week, your faculty will be grading your assignments. I mentioned earlier that the warm-ups auto grade. So as soon as you submit those warm-ups, you'll see those grades. And that's why you can go back and like retake them in case you wanted to add more points. You don't have to, but it's always an option. But your faculty will be working really hard on grading your assignment. So your discussion assignments, your journal assignments, your final project, those are all manually hand graded, okay? So how that works, for example, in week 1, you're going to start classes on Monday. That initial discussion post is due by Thursday, and then your 2 classmate responses due by Sunday, right? You can work ahead on those earlier in the week. You can respond to more than 2 students if you want to. Just make sure that the feedback is substantial. That's all fine. But by Sunday, everything has to be in, right? So then your faculty, so if I'm grading your work, if you're in my class, for example, your faculty have from that Sunday at midnight to the following Sunday, so 7 days to grade. Some faculty grade as things come in. Some faculty grade throughout the week. Some you might not see your grades for the week until that Sunday. But I always have students that are really nervous, like, oh my gosh, did I not turn this in? Did they not see it? No, it's there. You can actually always go back. You can double check that your discussion post was submitted. You can always go back and double check that your journal got uploaded. Like, those pieces are there. If you ever have questions like, hey, did you get this? Always email your faculty member because we would rather check than have you worry about it. Okay. All right, the last tip, and then I'm going to walk you guys through the classroom and then answer your questions, is to use your resources. You've heard me chat a lot tonight about reaching out to your faculty, letting you know that you have teams of people here to support you in your success. You're going to learn a lot about them here in SNHU 107, but I wanted to point out that you have these like SNHU resources, your instructors, your advisors, the Career Center, the academic support, which has the writing team. So underneath academic support, you have what's called written feedback. That is a service that you can actually upload your writing assignments that are SNHU related. And they will go through and kind of make sure you're on topic and give you some feedback to make sure that you're on the right track. There's also the peer tutors. There is STEM tutoring. We have all the learning communities. We have peer mentors, the library, the help desk. Like, this doesn't even have everybody that's here. But I wanted to point out that you have all of these here at the university. And then on the outside, You have the support at home. Those personal social supports are also here, which are people like your loved ones, parents, kids, significant others, coworkers, friends, extended families, pets. Pets count, y'all. And you have you. The biggest thing I want you to take away is, one, you completely got this. Okay. Like, you got this. But two, you are in control of how you connect to the university and how you put together your next 8 weeks. It can take a minute to get into a routine. So don't stress out. Don't get overwhelmed. Take a big old deep breath. Take things day by day, and remember to connect with those resources, because a lot of times just having a simple question answered or putting things together can make such a big difference in how you do everything. So that is kind of the top 10 tips. But what I want to do now is I'm going to walk you guys through the classroom just really quick, and then I'll go back to the chat and make sure that I got everybody's answers. I am going to shut the camera off though, just real quick, because sometimes when I run both systems, it can make things fuzzy and I don't want to lag for anybody. So hold on just a sec, and I am going to pull up the classroom environment. So can y'all see that okay? I want to make sure you could see the classroom environment okay and that everything is good. Sounds like, yep. Okay, perfect. So this is an example of a SNHU 107 classroom. So first and foremost, what I wanted to show you is when you log into your Brightspace classroom, that learn.snhu.edu, another top tip is a lot of students like to actually save this so that when they first log into their browser, this is the first page that pulls up. Just a tip from students that they gave me. But up here at the top, you're going to see this online student services. Go ahead and click on that, because when you do that, it might take just a second for it to pull up, but it pulls up all those departments that I was talking about. If you're having any technical issues or have questions about like anything technology-wise, you have the help desk, the SNHU help desk. Here is where you can find the bookstore. I like to tell students, click the blue, it gets you to where you want to go. Always click the blue, it gets you there. You'll see the bookstore, academic advising, you'll see academic support. When you click on academic support, I just wanted to show you really quick how to access some of those services that I was talking about. Because when you click on them, and it might take a minute, there we go, you'll see you can schedule for free drop-in tutoring. It's 24/7. You can see the written feedback. That's where you can upload some of those drafts and some of those writing assignments. There's tons of workshops that range from all kinds of things. There's peer tutoring. There's academic coaching if you might need a little bit more one-on-one. There's also some frequently asked questions. It's just a quick reference point. But also, folks, we have these incredible peer mentors here at the university, and the peer mentors meet with you one-on-one, and they were actually students just like you. So if you have questions about that, Dr. J works with those peer mentors, and you can always reach out to us or your advisor. We can get you connected. As you scroll down, there's a lot on here. Library, financial services. I wanted to point out two big things. One, this Office 365 and other software. You get these for free as an SNHU student. So if you don't have Microsoft Word and you still need it, click on this link and follow the steps, and it'll walk you through everything you need to get that download. If you get stuck, reach out to the help desk. But this way, you'll be able to submit those Microsoft Word documents and things like that, and it's free. The other thing is, how do you find the SNHU 107 learning community? You can always get through to us through SNHU Connect and then look for the SNHU 107 learning community. But you can also find all the clubs, organizations, parent groups, military groups. I know I had a couple students in here earlier that were psychology majors. There's a wonderful psychology club. The Nerds Unite Club is a really big popular one. There's some writing groups that are out there. There's military groups. There's parent groups. There's a whole lot of stuff in there to explore. One thing about SNHU Connect is if you don't have if you just registered, it can take like 7 days from when you register for your classes for your login to be created. So give it that amount of time. And if you get stuck and you can't log in, let me know, and we can always get you guys situated. But I just wanted to let you know, if you like just registered, just got your classes, it can take about 7 days to get that login created. So that is all those online student services. The other thing I wanted to show you quick is underneath course menu. When you click on announcements, that'll pull up all your course announcements where you can find your My Instructor information. Learning modules is where you can go, and that'll pull up all the modules week by week. This discussion is just a quick access to all the discussions you will have in the entire course. Assignments will take you to assignment templates, and then you'll have your grades you can click on to keep up with your grades from week to week. When you click on learning modules, what I wanted to show you is this Start Here area. Click on Start Here, and you will see access to your syllabus, and then you'll see that bookstore information that I mentioned. That is here, so you can always review that. It literally, click the blue, it'll take you right to the bookstore. click the blue, it takes you to your electronic bookshelf. So all those things are on there. So I wanted to make sure I pointed that out. You will see that your modules are all here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They're all here. There's some quick links for support, academic support, and for SNHU career, but you can also get into the specific STU 107 learning community by clicking directly on learning community. And then again, click the blue, gets you to where you want to go. It'll take you into how you can get into the SNU 107 learning community. And there's a quick video right here for helpful login instructions in case you get stuck. One other thing I wanted to show you underneath learning modules, next week there is an entire webinar dedicated to everything week 1, module 1. So I'm not going to go through all of that. But what I wanted to show you is that when you click on the blue, gets you to where you want to go, you will notice that as your module pulls up, you will have like the learning objectives for that week, a little bit of an overview. So it's a lot of clicking and scrolling down. Sometimes students don't scroll all the way down. I know it sounds silly, but it happens. Like I've done it before. I'm like, oh my gosh, I totally missed that. So just know that that's right there. And then you arrow over to kind of get yourself through the content. Okay, everybody. The other thing I wanted to point out is every week you will have these required resources sections in your courses for the module. So make sure that you are taking the time to watch these videos. It reminds you of what chapter you're going to have in your textbook, but there's some really helpful navigational things in here and some basic quick videos and additional support that you might need that are just really helpful. So I wanted to make sure that I pointed that out to y'all. And then as you just arrow through, it'll take you to your different assignments. So for example, week 1, just real quick so you know, you're going to be introducing yourself to your class, like where you're from, the degree you're getting. You're going to be talking about ownership and what it means to you. And then you're going to be talking about the resources and the things that you read this week and watched this week and your thoughts on them, and also your why behind starting classes and what motivates and drives you. So be thinking about that just to get thinking before you start classes on Monday. Remember that initial discussion post is due next Thursday, and then your peer responses or classmate responses are due by that Sunday, okay? And then you'll see too that you have a warm-up next week. This will show you exactly where that warm-up is. You can click Start Quiz to begin. I'm in a different mode, so it looks a little bit different for me, but I just wanted to show you, like, just real quick, like that is how you get to all the things, okay? I'm going to stop presenting so I can answer questions in the chat, but I hope this was super helpful. So if you're done and you feel good, like you're more than welcome to hop off. But if you want to stay and see any answers to questions, I am right here and happy to answer them. I'm going to pop my camera on just real quick one more time. To tell you guys, thank you so much for being here tonight and for taking the time to be here and get this extra information. I hope you watch the webinars from week to week, and we're just really excited to have you. Like, you got this. I'm thrilled for you. I'm going to take a minute to answer questions in the chat, and then I'll let y'all go. Have a wonderful weekend, y'all. Monday's going to come fast, and it's going to be great. You're going to be great. And just remember, you have all these resources at your fingertips. So good night if you're hopping off, and if you're going to stay for questions, I'm going to shut my camera off and get those all answered.
Hey, Melanie, it's Tara. I think we've answered all the questions unless some more now. So yes.
Perfect. All right. Well, teamwork, y'all. We have the best people here. Thank you guys so much.
There are a bunch coming in now, so get ready.
I'm going to read through them. I'll be right back, guys, and read through them. Okay, so I saw some questions about groups and SNHU Connect. When you get into SNHU Connect, you can actually search in the upper right-hand corner. A lot of students like to find their major group, like psychology. There's a creative writing, there's business, there's accounting. Nerds Unite is a super popular one. There's a paranormal club that's super popular. There's military groups, there's parent groups. It just kind of depends. There is the specific community for SNU 107's learning community, but there's also like a new student connection, which is students in all the majors and all the classes. So you can just really find a lot of different things that are in there. So how you access your book online is go back into your classroom environment and go under course menu, learning modules, click on that Start Here button. And when you scroll down, you will see the step-by-step process to buy your book in the SNHU online bookstore and get connected. If you should also have gotten an email to your university email account, but if you didn't, don't stress, or you're stuck, then you just want to reach out to your SNHU advisor and they'll get everything situated, okay? So there was another question in here about like just getting kind of settled that first week and getting kind of in a routine of thing. Is there a grace period? I wouldn't say there's a grace period. I know that there's a lot of nerves and a lot of sometimes feeling a little bit overwhelmed and anxious. That's why we do this webinar now. So you guys kind of know like what to expect, where to get started. You will have to pay attention to those due dates and deadlines. So that initial discussion post is due by Thursday. So you have like 4 days to kind of think about what you want to say and write it. And if you're worried, like, if you're in there and you're like, I got this written, I'm ready to go, and you want to be the first to post and nobody has posted yet, go for it. Everybody's always nervous that first week to post the first one. But just know, like, if you're really nervous and like kind of feeling a little worried, like email your instructor just so they know and can best support you in your success. But you will want to pay attention to those due dates and deadlines, okay? All right, let's see. I have another question. Layla had a question. Let me see if I can find it in here. It is like a chit chat mixer. Yes, it's so fun to see how everybody gets in here and gets excited with all the information and what's going on. Yeah, the paranormal group, y'all, I hear so many fun things about it. So I see a question about how many words or paragraphs we need when posting a discussion and responses. There's not a required word count or a required paragraph count. The biggest thing you guys want to pay attention to is you want to make sure that you're answering all the questions and you're being detailed enough so that when somebody else is reading it, they understand your whole point of view. Does that make sense? And when you respond to your classmates, if you respond and say like, hey, Tara, I feel the same way. I'm so glad we're in class together. That's not enough. Does that make sense? You want to be like, hey, Tara, I loved what you said about this, and here's why. Or, hey, I have a little bit of a different perspective. Like, here's my thoughts on it, and here's why. But you can also share like any relevant article links, or you can share like any like quotes and stuff that might be relevant. There's just a lot of stuff like that that you can do. So there's not like a word count or a paragraph count. It's just that you want to make sure that your point of view is completely heard and all questions are answered, and that also you're trying to kind of have that conversation in the discussion forum. So hopefully that makes sense. Layla, I hope that question was answered for you. Let me see what else I got. Is it better to do one module at a time? It is totally really your all's call. The classroom is set up for you to do one module at a time. Remember, week 1, module 1, week 2, module 2. We also know that sometimes you, with your work schedule or like your priorities at home or inside and outside the classroom, that you might need to work a little bit ahead. That is okay. So working a little bit ahead is totally fine. It's just you don't want to go in there and start submitting stuff for like week 4 or week 5 because you haven't covered any of the concepts or anything that maybe the instructor was going to give you some extra information about. You might miss some points and have to redo assignments. Does that make sense? So I always encourage students, like, start with 1 week at a time. If you need to work a little bit ahead, like, reach out to your instructor, let them know what's going on. Because there are times we have to do that, and that's okay. We also don't want you to get overwhelmed or have to redo things just to redo them. Okay. Let's see. There's another question about there is not an actual meeting time for your courses. Yes, you are totally right. So there is not a certain time that you have to log in or be anywhere in your classes on Monday the 28th. The most important thing is that you do log in and access your classes and make sure that your very first assignment, that initial discussion post, is submitted by that Thursday at 11:59 p.m. East Coast time zone, week 1, you all know your time zones. East Coast time is what happens for week 1. Then it'll go to your time zone, but make sure you're paying attention to those times. But there's not a certain time that you have to log in. You just want to make sure that you get that work done and that you get in there, okay? Let's see. I got the questions. There is a LinkedIn account for SNHU. If you go to the Career Center their page underneath those online student services, they have a couple of platforms. Handshake is one of the platforms they have, but the career team also can help students set up a LinkedIn profile. And there is one for SNHU too, which is really pretty cool. Let's see. Oh, good. Tara got some of these questions too. I think we got everything. I'm just trying to catch up. And you guys know that you are not alone in being a little bit nervous or like a little bit anxious and excited and all the things. Like, that is a totally normal thing as you guys embark on this really exciting new journal. So I see a couple of more questions. One for that module 7 project. If there's like a words, paragraph, amounts required, there's a template for that project. So you're going to have a series of questions already listed on the template that you'll be answering. And then Microsoft Word, you can get that for free here as an SNHU student. You want to go underneath underneath that online student services in your Brightspace class and scroll down to Office 365 and other software. When you click on that, it'll walk you through the directions to get that downloaded. Okay. So y'all, I think that's everybody's questions. Was this helpful tonight? Like, do you feel like you have an understanding of like what things are supposed to look like? Where to click, what to do, that is the biggest thing that's out there. And you guys will know too, like in your SNHU 107 course, there's not word requirements for any of the assignments. It's just making sure that you answer the questions and provide enough detail so your perspective and point of view is all finalized, okay? You can find the discussion information underneath each week's module, the discussion area, or you can just click on discussions and you can read all of it. It's all right there. And if you guys get stuck or you have questions, like don't hesitate to reach out to your instructors. We are going to be live and active in your classes on Monday, but instructors are prepping and preparing. They have been for the last couple of weeks. Make sure if you haven't gotten into the SNHU 107 learning community yet, that y'all pop in there. Tons of your classmates are already in there and they're super active in there. And just, have fun. Have fun. Be excited because we're super excited for you. And I know your guys' time is precious. I think I got all the questions answered. So you get some time back in your night. Thank you guys so much for coming. This recording will be downloaded. I will have it up within the next 24 hours on that YouTube page. Let me see if I can pop that link in here really quick for y'all. There we go. And it'll be up here within 24 hours. We'll get you all situated, but that link, you can bookmark it because that's where you will find the webinars every single week. They're going to populate on Monday, every single module that you have. And then we are planning to be live again for week 6, which is going to be, we'll walk through that final project. We're going to walk through the template. We're going to work with the academic support team so you guys kind of get some more tips and tricks and extra inside information. So don't stress about that final project. You're going to have a lot of information coming at you these next couple of weeks. Just sort through it, take it day by day, and reach out if you guys need anything. So y'all, good night. Have the best weekend. And remember, you got this, and welcome to SNHU.